This is a CFG Industry ste35sr. Now this machine is not actually made by CFG Industry. It is a shantui. They are not something that you see in the North American market. They're not sold in Canada or in the US. Or at least there's no true dealers I found over here. They are mainly China, Asia, and the European markets. They're quite a big company, and they make bulldozers. They started in the 80s, and everything I've read online about them is they make quality equipment, and that shows in this. This is a well put together machine. Come over here, show the cab of this. So view out the front. It is not a suspension seat. It just slides forward and backwards, tilts. You do have a radio in the back there with 2 speakers, Bluetooth connectivity. Down here you have your heat box there. It does not have air conditioning, so that might be a turn off if you're in a really hot climate. Down below you have these 2 auxiliary switches right here that will move your boom from side to side and also operate the thumb. Your blade control is that far lever right there that's tucked away. As far as operation, pretty simple. Right here, you have your key, and right behind the key, that is a throttle. So it's just a stick that you pull forward or push backwards, and that's what increases or decreases the throttle. You do have a computer monitor here. It's touch screen, and it controls things like fast or slow travel with the tracks. It tells your engine RPM, your diagnostics, and it will turn on your heater. So let's see what the cab looks like if you're sitting in the operator's seat. So this is a view from the operator's seat. Pretty nice. So you have the overhead window there, and you have a really nice field of view. You have a door open here. You can close this, and even with this closed, it does echo a little bit. It's not the best acoustics in here. It does rattle a little bit when it is closed too. So this is your screen. Watch it fire up, and tells you basic info. Date's wrong. This is your heat. This right here, you're in slow travel, now you're in fast travel. Windshield washer fluid, windshield wiper, your lights, and then this one just takes you to your different settings. And then I'm not sure what that one would be for, if that's like the horn or something. So, and the unlock signal right there, that means that you're not locked out. So when you move this, the boom will move. So when this is up, I lift this arm up here, this goes into the lock position, so this locks out your hydraulics. Overall, really comfortable cab for what it is and for the price point of these things. Comes with a fire extinguisher and comes with a glass breaker, so if you want to take out a window to get out, so you roll it over. Not a ton of storage back here. It is not a huge cab by any stretch of the imagination, but it will suffice for the average size operator. If you're a bigger fella, it can get a little tight. Underneath the panel right here, you do have these 2 boxes right here. So this one, I believe, is your fuses. So easy access to that. I believe this one here is your relays. Yep, so that's all your relays there. So pretty well laid out, easy for servicing. Fit and finish, the controls are super smooth. I would stack these controls up against any Kubota, Bobcat, any of the smaller 3-ton class machines. real fine precision control. So it's not the on and off that we're used to with the 1-ton machines. It is actually a smooth control. So here's the blade design. As you can see, all box beam. It's reinforced and gusseted, and there is a welded on cutting edge there. Going underneath here, you have the cover over it, so if you do get dirt spillover, it's not as likely to hit the hydraulic cylinder. And here's just the front of the cab. You do have your 2 work lights up top, and you do have one directly under the boom. As far as the bucket design, it does come from the factory with a quick attach. So I think you pull this little pin here, and that allows you to quickly attach or detach different bucket sizes. Like I said, I haven't actually read the manual on this, so I'm guessing that's how that works. Grease points on all the spots, and the thumb is actually attached to the same pivot as your bucket or quick attach hooks up to, so geometry is all right. One complaint I do see about a lot on these things is that the thumb does hang down pretty low, and I think that's a valid concern. I don't know how much in the way this will get. This can retract up a little bit, but it does hang down a little bit, so that is one point I will ding it on. But overall, just nice construction. So, battery disconnect, battery, your fuel tank. Fuel tank is a plastic, I think it's poly tank, and then there's your fuel level meter there. This one is your hydraulic tank, and then this is coolant for the radiator. So that's everything in that side compartment there. I'm parked a little close to the bushes, so it'll be kind of hard to get back here to see. But this is the engine compartment, and this is why I bought this, is because the price point on this is right. It is in the mid-20s, and anything comparable like a Kubota, John Deere, anything like that, that's going to be in the 50s. So as you can see, this thing is pretty well designed. It just feels like it has that fit and finish. There's paint on all the bolts there, so you can see right there they went there with a paint marker and said, hey, we've torqued this down, and are marking it. It's little things like that this thing feels solid. Feels solid enough for me to spend my hard-earned money on. Door does swing out, does have a lock there. You got a fuel shut-off valve right here, and fuel filter, and then I'm not sure where the oil filter is on this thing. It's way down in there. Motor number here, if you're curious, you can pause the video and zoom in on that. There's a motor number. There's a Yanmar. And then your radiator sits sideways in here. I do not know if this thing is a truly all shantui designed machine, or if this is a clone or a copy of a different machine like a Kubota or Yanmar. I do not know, but it's quality built. You can see there, zero tail swing, so I'm right against some bushes here, and it doesn't even come over the tracks. I have not had a chance to dig with this yet, just move it around, spin it around, and run through the motions with the arm, and it feels stable. I can have the arm fully extended out, and it does not feel unsteady. It does not feel like it's going to tip over on me, even when I'm going off the side. So, well balanced, I would say. And yeah, there's not a whole lot to this. That's the other thing. Well, another reason I bought it is because, say if something goes wrong, if this computer in here dies on me and I need to replace it, and I can't replace it, say it's proprietary, you can't get it for whatever reason. The motor is I don't know if the word analog, but it's not a digital motor. It doesn't require a computer brain to work. It is all mechanical. The throttle is mechanical. So worst case scenario, that computer dies and the brain box of this thing, I can probably rewire this thing and override it. I probably will lose the 2-speed control, but it's not going to be that hard to figure out how to find my starter relay and my ignition and get this thing running. So there's not a whole lot of things that I'm worried about going wrong with this and not being able to find parts. There is a warehouse in Chicago that is the U.S. headquarters for these, for the CFGs and the Agrotechs, I think that's how you pronounce the name. And you should be able to get all the parts available from there. Again, this is just a little brain box, but everything else is mechanical. And that's what I like about it. There's still that element of simplicity, and that I like to repair things on my own. I don't want to have to send it off to a dealer. I don't want to have to pay somebody else to do it. I want to be able to repair it if I need to. So as far as the door will swing all the way back and lock into place. So locks nicely out of the way there, and it does hold out over the back end more than the tail does. So just be cautious if you're working up against the building and you have your door swung out. You don't want to hit the door or the frame of your door into a object and damage it. Valve bank. So I don't know if you can see it, but there are all those little knobs right there. You kind of see how the sun's hitting it. That is your valve bank, is underneath the floor here. Underneath the flooring, got this rubber mat here, and then you have access panel there that get you into it. I haven't peeled this up yet to really dig around and see how you get into the valve bank, but I'm sure I will, just because I'm curious and I like to know how to get into things. Routing of the hoses, a lot nicer than a lot of the 1-ton machines you see, and I kind of expect that when I'm spending the type of money like I did on this thing. I would like this thing to be, you know, to last. So try to get the camera in there so you can see. So there's your hoses, there's your valve block, or a secondary block, I'm assuming. They just run up and they actually run through the boom. I like that. That's a nice thought out feature there, because if they're running on the side here, then that is going to, you know, put them more at risk to be taken off from a tree branch or something. So same thing here. It's nice. It just feels well put together. I do not look at this and go, wow, this is cheesy. I look at this and go, hey, you know, this has a nice fit and finish. Is it Kubota level fit and finish or Yanmar? No. Would I put this up against a Sani? Yeah. And for the price, for the mid-20s, I think that's very reasonable for what you're getting. You're getting a 6,000 pound machine. These things are listed as a 2.8 ton machine, but if you do the conversion of 2.2 pounds per kilogram, it actually comes out to 6,000 pounds. So I don't know if that's metric ton or where they get the 2.8 from, but you see that on a lot of the advertisements for these. And then underneath here, just the undercarriage. The welds are nice on it. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that the welds are all robotically done. And it's just not a whole lot to complain about this thing. Like I said, the only real complaint that I have is the thumb and how much it hangs down. So, oops. battery switch. And we'll run it around and see if I can hold the camera steady and actually get this thing to focus. I'm going to lift the blade up just so I don't damage my driveway. And you can see it does rock a little bit, but I'm not centered. I'm over the edge. But it does come to a nice, almost 90-degree angle, so if I need to dig over next to the side of a trench or next to a house, it will do that no problem. And apparently I'm low on fuel. So since I did not want to deal with when I put fuel in this thing, I'm going to shut it off. So that beeping you hear right there, that does the low fuel right there. Now that I'm leveled out, it's not reading that it is low, so it is nice that it sends you a warning before it runs out of fuel, especially on a diesel, because you don't have to reprime it. So, but yeah, this is the angle that this thing will do here. You need to get close to a trench, get close to a building. Comes out pretty nice here. Controls, super smooth. I can feather this. Big complaint I had about those 1 tons and 1.5 ton machines, I could not feather it. This thing, I have real precision control, and I appreciate that. There's your thumb. That's the max retract of the thumb. And this is all the way down with the thumb. Lay that in the up position. And we'll just park it like this and get out and see the geometry of how far angled this thing will get. So if you're trying to dig over the side of the track, that's pretty good. That's actually really good. So yeah, that's just a kind of quick overview of it. Haven't got any hours on it yet, so I'm looking forward to doing some digging with it and seeing what this thing can actually do, put through its paces. But overall, I am really happy with this thing so far. So this is a quick introduction video for you. And yeah, that is this 2.8 ton excavator from CFG. Thank you guys for checking out the video.